Today I just want to go over what is in my camera bag heading into 2026, which feels wild to say. So this is just going to cover my gear that I use for all things content creation, photography, and basically like any professional work I do. We're going to talk about camera bodies, lenses, lens filters, drone, tripod, whatever I use, we're going to discuss today. We're just going to hop right into it, and we're going to start off with the actual camera bag itself that I use. So this one is the Lowepro Flipside 500 AW2. I believe that's correct. It's a lot of numbers and words. But this has been with me for about 3 years now, I think, and it has gone through any kind of weather imaginable that you can think of, and the storage in this thing is crazy. I can fit basically like 2 camera bodies, a drone, 3 different lenses, a bunch of accessories, my tripod. Everything that I need to carry, I can fit in this bad boy right here. I do have potentially another camera bag on the way very soon, so we'll see if that one can kind of get me away from this, but I mean, this has been about 3 years strong now with this, and I've tested a bunch of camera bags over the last couple of years, and I don't know what it is. I can't find something that really compares to this, and the fact that it has like waist straps as well, it's so comfortable. There's a lot of cushioning. So yeah, this is the camera bag that I'm currently rocking with. Oh, and before we move on, this strap or this clip you'll see right here, so this is the Peak Design capture clip. Whatever camera bag I am using, like when I have tested them, I always transfer these capture clips over. It basically just allows you to hook on your camera for easy access and just be able to quickly get it off, get the shot, you can put it back on, go hands-free. So if you don't have a capture clip on your bag, and there's lots of different brands besides Peak Design that make them now, but I'd highly suggest going to grab one. You can just get them on Amazon. Now, every time I go out to shoot, I don't always need a big backpack with all my gear in it. Sometimes I just like to go out with a very simple camera body and 1 lens setup. And at that point, I'll just take basically like a smaller sling bag. So I have a few different sling bags that I like to just rotate through depending on the weather, the outfit, whatever it is. Interruption from my dog. Hello. Okay, you gotta be quiet. So the 3 sling bags I usually rotate through are these guys here. This is just a simple one from Moment. I really like that. Nice bit of storage in that. This is the one I use the most. So this one is from Ulanzi, and this has the most storage. So I can fit like a couple different lenses in it if I need, and some accessories. It's also fairly weather resistant. So if it's raining at all, I'll take that one out. And then this one, I just kind of like the look of. It's like this Sherpa yellow. It's from Long Weekend. And yeah, this is just like a nice light bag that I'll just take if I just need to take something really small set up, like my X-T5 and 1 lens. Okay, so that's enough about camera bags. We'll move on to the good stuff, camera bodies. So for photography, for the last 3 years, I have been using the Fujifilm X-T5. So I was actually part of the launch campaign back in November 2022 when it came out. So I've been using this ever since, and for a while I was actually using it for both photo and video, and it's great. However, I kind of wanted to just have a sole photography camera. So for the last year or so, I've actually been using this only for photography. It is a 40 megapixel sensor, so the quality that comes out of it is fantastic. Now, I don't really crop my photos that much anyways, so the 40 megapixels isn't a big deal for me. However, having it is quite nice. So my favorite thing about this camera has actually been its size. So as you can see, it's a very compact camera. And I've been rocking it just bare bones. I used to have a cage on it. However, because I'm just using it for photography now and not video, I don't really see the need to have a cage. I don't need to mount like any accessories or a monitor or anything. I might pick up an L grip for it, but I'm kind of just liking the bare look, and also just because of the size without a cage, it's been great. I'm able to just kind of throw it in like my jacket pocket or sweater pocket and just take it anywhere with me, especially if I pair it with like a smaller lens. Now, the other camera body I'm always using is the Fujifilm X-H2s. So this is my go-to for anything video. So I don't really use this for photography at all. I've probably shot like 50 photos on it, and I've had it for about a year. This camera has been incredible for me. I love the colors that come out of Fujifilm for video. So I actually use Sony cameras. I use an FX3 at work at my 9 to 5 like every day. And I much prefer the colors that come out of Fujifilm. Of course, FX3s, they're incredible cameras. I'm not knocking them at all. I just prefer in post to deal with the footage that comes out of my H2s. And so on this camera, I am rocking a camera cage. So I currently have a Tilta camera cage on it. And one, it just looks incredible. I love it. But two, it just allows me to mount certain accessories, so like a monitor, side handle, a mic, all that kind of stuff. So for video, a camera cage is an absolute must. Moving on to lenses, there is basically 3 lenses that I've been using for like months now. 1 for video and then 2 for photography. I might change it up and actually add a couple in the near future. The 2 that I'm currently using for photography is the 16mm f2.8. So this is so small and compact. So when I pair this with my X-T5 with like no cage or anything, like I was saying, it's wonderful. I can just throw it in like my jacket or sweater pocket and just go on with it. This has been probably my favorite lens for photography. So the second lens I use for photography a lot lately has been the 30mm f2.8. And then this one, the versatility of it is nice because it is actually a macro lens as well. So you can kind of get up close, get your detailed shots, but it's 30mm, so it's still fairly wide. So you can kind of cover everything with it. So yeah, this is like a very nice all-around lens, I would say. So the lens I'm using for all things video is the 16-55 f2.8 Mark II lens. So this has been on my H2s for basically like 6 or 7 months and has not come off. I had a Tamron 17-70 before that. I did break it, my tripod fell over and the lens literally cracked in half, which was wild. I've never seen that before. But yeah, so I picked this guy up after I broke my Tamron. And I will say obviously there's a price difference, so I would expect differences in the lenses, but the Fujifilm is a little bit sharper and faster with autofocus, and then just like, again, sharpness in terms of like quality is a little bit better. So if you have it in your budget, I would say go with the Fujifilm. If not, the Tamron is a fantastic budget lens that, it's still, I think like $1,100 Canadian. But I used it for like 1.5 years for a lot of just like photography and videography, and I absolutely loved it. So the Tamron is a lens that I would recommend if you don't have the budget for the Fujifilm, but if you have the budget for the Fujifilm, the 16-55, I would go with it. There is an argument to be said that the Fujifilm has less reach, of course, 55 versus 70. However, I don't really shoot at like a wider or tighter focal length, so like that 55-70 doesn't really affect me. I'd rather have something that's a little bit faster and a little bit sharper. Now going forward, there is a couple lenses I am looking at possibly adding. I have found since switching to 2 camera bodies and having my 16-55 just sit on my H2s, I kind of miss having a zoom lens for photography all the time, because often I'm running photo and video at the same time. I don't want to go messing with switching lenses. So I just put like a prime lens on my Fujifilm and have the 16-55 on my H2s. I also don't want to get a second 16-55 because it is a little bit bigger of a lens, and I don't really, like, I've been loving just like a compact setup for photography. So I'm looking into, there's a Sigma, I think it's an 18-50, but it looks like a nice compact small lens. Obviously build quality and sharpness is not going to be the same as a 16-55, but it looks very much up to par and a great lens. So I think that's going to be something I'll pick up in the future as well. I just did a campaign a few months ago with Fujifilm on the new pancake lens, the 23 f2.8. So when that starts shipping out, I will be adding that to my kit. And I think that might replace my 16 and be kind of like my go-to lens that I always have on my X-T5. Okay, the next up is the drone, and I'm not going to talk about this too much because lately I've found I'm not really using my drone that much. But basically I'm still rocking the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I've been using this for a few years now. And lately I feel like I want to upgrade. They just came out with the Mini 5 Pro, of course, and I'm looking at that. Or do I want to go to like a bigger drone? The only drawback with that is then, of course, restrictions and licensing and all that stuff. So I kind of want to keep it to the Mini series, and the 5 looks like a pretty decent upgrade from the Mini 3 Pro. So that might be something I grab maybe next year, closer to the summer, because over the winter and spring, it's kind of hard to fly a drone in Newfoundland. We get a lot of wet weather and wind. So if you follow me on Instagram or you've been following my last few videos here on YouTube, you'll notice that a lot of my photos have kind of this like softer look. And I get a question all the time of what filters I'm using. So I do use a black Pro Mist filter from Tiffen on pretty much all my lenses when I do photography. And this one is actually magnetic. So that's an ND filter and a black Pro Mist filter. They are magnetic. And then for video, I'm always using a magnetic black Pro Mist, or variable ND filter from Tiffen, which is what's on this right here. Then on my other lenses, so the 16 and the 30 that I'm using for photography as well, there is a black Pro Mist filter on the front. So the next thing in my kit that I think is super important is my tripod. So this is a carbon fiber travel tripod from Neewer, or Neewer, however you pronounce it. And basically this is just like a mimic of like the Ulanzi or Peak Design tripods that you see a lot of people have, just at like a quarter of the price. So I picked this guy up, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months ago, and it has been wonderful. I love it. Now, because it's carbon fiber and it is lighter, I get a little worried with just the wind here in Newfoundland, so I'll usually like hook my bag to the bottom of it just to weigh it down. This, if you're in the market for a tripod and you don't want to spend what like the Peak Design ones cost, I would just go with something like this. This is right off of Amazon. I think I paid like 180 Canadian for it. Now I did get it on sale, but still you can generally find this stuff on sale on Amazon. So the last thing I want to talk about is just my shotgun mic that I'm running for video setup. So this is the MKE 600. Before this, I was rocking the Rode Video Mic Pro, which was a great mic. However, I just did some research and wanted to upgrade slightly. So I decided on the MKE 600 from Sennheiser. And this has been a great mic. It does have an XLR straight to like 3.5mm jack to go into your camera, or it gives you the option to run an XLR into like a field recorder. So that's something I want to invest in the future, is just like a Zoom recorder that has 32-bit float, something that's a bit more reliable on the audio side. So that's everything I'm using right now for all my photo and video work, all my content creation. I do have a couple things, like I said, I want to add in the future, just a couple different lenses. But besides that, I am very content right now, and this has been a killer setup for me. As of right now, I don't really see myself upgrading any like camera bodies anytime soon. The next upgrade I think I would make would be moving into Fujifilm's medium format sensors, so with the GFX line. But right now, that's a little out of the budget, and you know, maybe in a few years, who knows, I'll be rocking all GFX cameras. If you guys watched this far, thank you, and comment down below with what you're currently rocking as your setup, and I will catch you in the next one.